What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is NonFiction. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as notification bell to stay up to date on all content going down on this channel. Appreciate you, love you. Now back to the video.
Nah, this ain't nonsense, this is non-fiction. So excuse if the content is offensive, it's official. Now that we have been acquainted, this is my pleasure, my pain, your entertainment.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is NonFiction, and as you can see, the sign to my left right here, sorry, I always mix that up, but it says the Walt Disney Company. We say that for a reason, and if you saw the title and you clicked the title, you clicked it because you want to know what's really going on. So I was scrolling through YouTube, just finished watching some football, and seen a post from Everything Always that says, breaking news, Bob Chapek has been fired, and Bob Iger is back, most likely temporarily, just until they find another replacement. But he has a short video, so I want to get into his video and see what actually happened, if he has any more information on what took place with this firing at Disney. So let's get into it. Once again, welcome back to the channel. My name is NonFiction. Hope you guys have been having a great week or weekend, and your Thanksgiving is coming along nicely. But let's get into it, y'all. All right. Let's get it.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka All Fires. A major news bombshell has gone off in the last 30 minutes as being reported by multiple outlets, including Deadline, under the headline, Disney shocker, Bob Iger back as CEO, Bob Chapek out, and this apparently taking place immediately. We're going to break down what the article says, what happened over at Disney to make this major change up so, and what this means for the future of Marvel Studios going forward. It is actually amazing news. We're going to break it all down, but first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content.
Yes, definitely subscribe to this channel. But before we get into more of the video, there has been rumors swirling for quite a while that investors in the Walt Disney Company have not been happy with the decisions and the moves and some of the things that Bob Chapek just came out and said that had bad undertones, underlinings, and kind of might have been slightly racist on some points. But you know, we're not going to get into specifics. We're just saying, I just know that from so many different insiders that actually do have an ear to Disney, there's been so many conversations that have popped up in the last, maybe like 2 years, of people talking about how people are just not happy with the progress of the Walt Disney Corporation. So let's see what else that Everything Always has for us.
Content at the channel, and that's all we do. Everything from official Easter egg breakdowns,
I can't wait for X-Men 97.
Occasional industry insider report like
and
we're doing
Spider
today,
Freshman year.
in between.
Yeah.
So if that's everything for you,
man.
hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. That will automatically enter you
everything.
to win our ongoing PS5
I just can't wait for
giveaway.
everything.
If you want, stick around to the end of the video. We'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. So again, this breaking in the last 30 minutes, as reported by Deadline, quote, after less than a year in retirement, Bob Iger has returned as the CEO of Walt Disney Company. The board just sent out a notice that Bob Iger is back and recently re-upped Bob Chapek is out, handing over the baton as CEO in February 2020 to Chapek and serving as the executive chairman until the end of 2021. Iger will now serve as the CEO for a second time for the next 2 years, the company says. Previously, Iger was top dog at the House of the Mouse from 2005 all the way up to 2020, so for 15 years. They go on to say, quote, the board has concluded that as Disney embarks on an increasingly complex period of industry transformation, Bob Iger is uniquely situated to lead the company through this pivotal period, said the chair, Susan Arnold, today after what was a rougher than expected last quarter for the company. Now, before we go on, because there's more in here, I want to unpack some key details.
So, when he says rougher than the stock Disney has actually gone down, and it's reported that Disney is about to lay off about 10,000 employees. So I don't know if that's true. That's all hearsay. Nothing has happened yet. Nothing has come out and said they're going to do it. But I do know, I do follow a bunch of business insiders on Instagram, and there's a list of major companies that are laying off people within the next month, and Disney was on that list as well. So it all could be playing a part into why they got rid of him. And during the time that Iger was a part of the Disney Corporation, Disney was just flourishing on all aspects. In their music, in their movies, their TV shows, of course, the launching of the app. Like, there's so many things that came across the purchasing Fox. Like, it's so much that has happened under Bob Iger, where it's like it's hard to say, it's not a worthwhile opportunity to bring him back into the fold and just see what he can do for the next 2 years. It's crazy that it's 2 years because he was done. He was done. Did his job, served his purpose, and felt accomplishing everything he was doing. So this is interesting.
Details in what was just reported. Number one, they point out Bob Iger's tenure, 2005 till 2020. He was the guy who believed in and invested in bringing Marvel Studios and Star Wars to Disney. He didn't purchase them until 2009 and 2012, respectively. So he was seen as a cinema guy and had a huge hand in shaping what we now know as Disney through Marvel and Star Wars. Now, the next detail to key in on is when they call this an increasingly complex period of industry transformation, and when they say that Disney had a rougher than expected last quarter for the company. There's a lot more tied up in this in just the bottom line and numbers on a stat sheet. That was a real fancy way of saying things were an absolute dumpster fire over at Disney. There have been so many public articles and in the recent news about employee dissatisfaction, major layoffs, reports of executives being overworked and spread too thin, and then the very public grilling of Marvel on behalf of CGI artists saying they were impossible to work with. All of these were just symptoms of a greater problem over at Disney.
It's interesting that he says that because when Black Panther was, slated to release on November 11th, there was always a worry about it being pushed back because the graphics department, on so many occasions, so many people who came down with, the vid, and it came down with the vid multiple times where most people were coming down with it. So movies that got pushed back, that's why Spider-Man had his issue. That's why Doctor Strange had his issues, because it was about that one department that just, because it's not a humongous department, but those departments kept having issues. And so that's why some things were being sent out of the house of the mouse to be taken care of. Like, that's how we got Black Panther to be finished on time, because it was being done by other parties, not necessarily the main group, even though they're still, their fingerprints are still all over the movie, per se.
Disney Co., and where Bob Iger was regarded as a super empathetic CEO, a people person, and beloved by a lot of the people he worked with and a lot of the company and even the fans for what he was able to accomplish. It seems as though Bob Chapek was not able to keep that same vision. The board went on to say, quote, "We thank Bob Chapek for his service to Disney over his long career, including navigating the company through unprecedented challenges of the pandemic." They also go on to say Mr. Iger has the deep respect of Disney's senior leadership, most of whom he worked closely with until his departure as executive chairman 11 months ago, and he is greatly admired by Disney employees worldwide, all of which will allow for a seamless transition of leadership.
Okay, think of it like this. You're Michael Jordan, right? Bob Iger is Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan won 6 titles. Michael Jordan retires. There's a guy that comes in. His name is Bob Chapek. He's the guy that they're going to look to take them into the future. And if there's one or two mishaps that happen, or there's something that he has said, or that's in private that got leaked out and it offends people, or just anything, all of a sudden you're automatically being compared to Jordan. Bob Iger is the Jordan of all Disney. Like, let's just put it out there. It is what it is. And because of this, we know there's so much more pressure on Chapek to be great. And because so many people, so many fans have not been happy with Star Wars, have not been happy with Phase 4 of Marvel, have not been happy just to what Disney's been doing. And unfortunately, Chapek is, if anyone's head's going to get cut off, if it's going to be a head that rolls, it's going to be Chapek's. It is what it is. And that's just how the world works.
Basically saying he only left 11 months ago. Since then, Bob Chapek has had the reins, and it has been a disaster. So we're going to give it right back to the guy who had it in the first place, and hopefully not enough time has elapsed, not enough damage has been done that he can't steer it back into that direction. When they say he's uniquely situated.
It's funny. I keep stopping, but I want to have a conversation with you guys. It's funny when he says that about the 11 months. It reminds me of in the Marvel movies where we was getting hinted at before the Avengers ever really popped off that Thanos was coming, and they get to the point after that first Avengers movie and Loki gets busted, and Thanos goes to grabs the gauntlet and says, "I'll do it myself." Like, I think this is the Bob Iger "I'll do it myself" moment that we're getting right now.
uniquely suited. It's beyond uniquely suited. He's the only one who they could bring back. He's literally the guy who steered it into this direction, who got it to where it is. There's no one who better understands the company. Really, if they have any future of turning this around, it's with him in the CEO post. He goes on to say, quote, "I'm extremely optimistic for the future of this great company and thrilled to be asked by the board to return as CEO." Disney and its incomparable brands and franchises hold a special place in the hearts of so many people around the globe, most especially in the hearts of our employees, whose dedication to this company and its mission is an inspiration. I am deeply honored to be asked again to lead this remarkable team with a clear mission focused on creative excellence to inspire generations through unrivaled, bold storytelling. Now, he addresses the employees in this statement because he knows the problem is mostly internally with what's going on in the company and it falling apart. But he also says, clear mission focused on creative excellence. Guys, and as far as being Marvel fans, because that's what most of us are here at this channel, this is great news for Marvel Studios. Bob Iger was the guy who ultimately saw Kevin Feige all the way to the top of Marvel Studios because Kevin Feige was the right guy for the job.
Kevin Feige wasn't the top dog all the time. For those that don't know, he started out on low part of the totem pole, and his vision and his work ethic actually got him up to the top. And Iger saw that in him and brought him to the top. And that's why we have so much of what we have because of Iger in the first place. That's what I'm saying. It's like you try to replace Jordan. It's impossible. You know what I'm saying? Like you just can't. They try to bring in somebody who was doing an okay job. I'll say okay. But there are so many stories, letters, like stuff that's popped up in the last 11 months where it's like, he's just not that guy. He's not him,
Ultimately the one who's going to be signing off on cutting huge checks for development. He's the guy who will say, yes, go spend that extra 50, that extra $100 million, make Avengers Secret Wars that much better, because that investment in creative excellence is worth it on the back end for the fans and the brands. So not only is it awesome because of his empathy and just being a people person, someone that the employees are inspired by and want to work for, but he's also the dude who's going to put cinema first in the piece of the pie. While Bob Chapek was definitely a theme parks guy, Bob Iger is our cinema guy. He's our Marvel guy. So just from the standpoint of being a Marvel fan and what this means for the future of the MCU, this is all good things. But as far as actually having empathy for those who are working for Disney and all of the sort of discordant feelings and reports that have been coming out, this is definitely a new hope, pun totally intended, but really a light at the end of the tunnel, something that they can sort of be like, okay, change is coming. And guys, I think we all know and can empathize when you have a terrible job with a terrible boss and you feel trapped there and deadlocked. It's a terrible feeling. And so I think there's a lot of people who are going to wake up tomorrow to hear this news because
we've definitely had that feeling. Everyone has had at one point working for a boss that you're just not happy with or not satisfied with your position. But I mean, like what he's saying, there has been a lot of rumors, a lot of stories, sub stories written in various online zines, and just talking about just the environment. Just people aren't happy at Disney. You know what I'm saying? So it's surprising because it's in the middle of the freaking night, but it's not surprising that it happened. You know what I mean?
it broke so late tonight on the East Coast, and be extremely happy to hear Bob Iger is back. As Marvel fans, we should be super pumped as well. Guys, let me know all your thoughts down below and your reactions to this. It's crazy that this broke, and as late as it did on Sunday, effective immediately. That must be, man, whatever those numbers are going to report for that last quarter must be really, really rough. I'm all ears as always. Quickly, let's jump into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. Okay, we're still giving away a PlayStation 5. We're also announcing some new giveaways this week. If you want to be entered to win, all the same rules will always apply. Hit the subscribe button because you need to be a subscriber, then leave a comment down below. Because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. It's super simple, that's all it. Then wait for an announcement during the videos, guys. We will never, ever announce winners down in the comments. So if you get spam on my channel, on any other channel on YouTube, shoot, on any other platform, there are a lot of bots impersonating content creators right now. No YouTuber will ever charge you for shipping. No YouTuber will ever message you in the comments and say you won. They always announce it publicly in a video. Please, guys, be vigilant. Always look for verified accounts. Do not give anybody money. No YouTuber I know ever charges shipping. My name's Michael Roman. You can find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. You can also find me on Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon.
All right, so everything always, aka Michael Roman, IamFires. dope creator. He does everything Marvel. He does dabble into the Star Wars side of things a little bit because he does a lot of Disney product. But if you're always looking for information, trying to find stuff that's happening with Marvel, please, I'll leave a link in the description for his channel. Subscribe to his channel. And like he said, when they hit 1 million, they're at 989,000 and they're growing fast. He's getting thousands of subscriptions every day. So when he gets to 1 million, he's giving away the PS5s. So all you gotta do to get entered into the contest is actually comment on videos. That's all you gotta do. Just comment on videos and they will pick them at random. So please check his content out. He has a lot of content, and he, just like I do when I do the live streams, he does live streams too for the different Disney shows as well. So I do it, he does it. It's a bunch of YouTube creators that do it as well. But please check him out. He has Iron Man suits that he puts on in some of his live streams. You got to check him out. Like, seriously, you got to check him out. It's freaking awesome. But this is very, very, very interesting because not only that it happened in the middle of the night. I mean, I'm recording this at midnight. I'm recording this at midnight. So when I seen it from him, it was like 30 minutes ago. I had to get stuff set up on my OBS. But so it happened to at least maybe 11 o'clock, when I first seen it, you know what I'm saying? So the numbers for the Disney Plus app, probably the loss in subscribers because of, there's no hot shows on right now. Everything's kind of coming to an end before the Christmas break. There's probably a lot of people that's dropping the app. The app does need work. I like the app. I do have it, but it does need work because the HBO Max app is probably hands down the best app out there with the most content. I mean, there's other apps Paramount Plus and all these other ones. They're cool. Hulu, Netflix. I mean, the cool thing about Disney is they have the partnership with Hulu, and you can get the ESPN Plus. You get them all for super cheap, which is actually pretty freaking awesome. I actually have that deal, and it's worth it. ESPN you only pay like penny for. So, but I know there's going to be layoffs for Disney. I know that's already coming. I read about that on the story not too long ago, so I know that's coming. I'm also seeing a few professionals on Instagram that actually are in the business realm and talk about hiring, firing, and being recession proof. And they talk about that Disney's one of the bigger companies that's going to be laying off people next to Amazon and Tesla, and I think Walmart and somebody else. But man, this is interesting. This is interesting that they did this so late at night. Almost like they wanted their investors to wake up the next morning to breathe a fresh breath of fresh air. There you go. It's midnight. It's midnight. So I do apologize, but they want them to feel comfortable in the decision that they're making, even though they're probably not going to be comfortable with the numbers that they're going to see for this fourth quarter. And I have to admit that it's probably because there's probably a lot of drop off in the content. Not everybody's happy about what's being produced on the content. And investors, their money is what really calls the shots. Yes, they have CEOs and they have CFOs and CCOs and all this other BS, but that money is what really calls the shots. And if they're not making it back, you know what I'm saying, in doubles and triples, and that investment is not, becoming their investment profiles aren't growing, then there's going to be a problem, and they can't afford for mass pullouts of people's monies. So this is interesting. Like I said, there's definitely been a few YouTubers who are really well connected to the Disney company, like Everything Always, who's pretty much connected to the company as well. If you ever see the red carpets of movies, he's been there a few times. They're somewhat connected. They have an ear they have an ear to the streets with them, and that they can hear certain things. So the thing about Bob Chapek, like I said, is not surprising. It's just surprising of when it was done, and it's kind of dirty, you know what I'm saying, because they didn't know at night. But I think this was more so of them just trying to save face with investors, and the fact that they brought back Big Papa Bob, that's actually a big plus for, like you said, for most Marvel fans, because we enjoyed some of our greatest moments under his watchful eye. So this could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, but we'll just have to see what happens. We'll have to see what happens, see where this goes, and hopefully the ship is corrected and there won't be too many more corners cut. I know there was corners cut because, like you said, Chapek was more about the parks because that's where he came from the park side of Disney, and Iger was, of course, about the movies, and the movies is what was providing more for the company as a whole and giving more content to the company. So we'll see what happens. And once again, like I say, I'll leave a link in the description for everything. Always, please check him out, subscribe to his channel, show him some love, and get your name in there on a comment to win those PS5s. Because trust me, I've commented a couple times. I would love to win a PS5 because your boy can't afford one. Anyways, appreciate you. Love you. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, night, evening, morning, noon, wherever you are in the world today. My name is NonFiction. And happy Thanksgiving. If I don't see you again before Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. Appreciate you. I love you. Catch you on the next one. Peace out, y'all. This is crazy. Super crazy.